So like even that drive right before there, we were going to run it unless that's why Brandon was still out there. We were only going to throw it unless we had to. We were going to run it, and we were going to throw a quick game because I wanted to run the clock down. Because if you just let's get out of here. We don't need to expose ourselves any more than we did. Unless you're trying to throw for more yards and do those kind of things. So that's what he's saying. It's just be careful against certain teams. That when you restrict yourself, you put yourself in a tough spot. So.
Todd, offenses like to talk about take what the defense gives you. Seems like more and more you guys are just taking what you want. I mean, last week you guys throw a bunch in the first half and then put those guys out. You run it a bunch, and today it was just such a mix for you guys out there.
Well, sometimes it's runs with throws on the perimeter. So, it's all built into one. So we were at A&M. We ended up with a lot of throws on the perimeter that were built-in runs, so that he gets all the stats, but they're really just part of your run package. So some of that was today. Even the one play that was two of the fade throws to Black were run plays. The throw out to Michael Harrison that he fumbled was a run play, but you have the ability to spit out there. Baylor was doing the same thing. So that ends up being a part of it. And then when you have those long runs, what ends up happening is that it looks as though you're really relying on those. But if those runs are 5-yard runs or 10-yard runs, you end up throwing it a heck of a lot more than you did. But when those become explosives, then the drive ends. And I don't know how many plays. We didn't have very many plays today. And part of that was we got a lot of returns. We had quick drives, and they drove it some, and that's a good offense. So I don't know. I mean. Sometimes the run game works better, and sometimes the pass game. I wish there was an easy answer of saying that I had all the answers and no one, so it really didn't. I mean, we had the first run play was a draw with the throw it outside, and it was cover zero. And normally you throw it. Yeah. You hand it off and he ran for 70 yards. That's one of those no throw. Oh, okay, great, that worked out. So I mean, it's just sometimes it works that way, and then you become the beneficiary of it.
It looks like too that, which I'm sure you knew, but the talent out there, the toys that you have to play with. I mean, you've got a lot of options, as does Brandon when he's out there.
There's a lot of good players out there, and a lot of good players that have bought in. And I think what our guys have done a great job of, and I can only speak to our side of the ball. I think it's a lot easier when people tell you they don't think you're good enough, because then you can kind of fight back and you can say, well, we are good enough, and you get motivated that way. I think the harder thing is when people start telling you, boy, you're really good and you're third in the country and you got a chance, and if you run the table and do it. The hardest thing is to fight human nature, like we all do. Everybody likes to be told they're doing a good job, and then you start to go, well, it's all because of me, or it's all because of what we're doing. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that just the approach that they've taken, and we haven't really turned it over much. We haven't had a lot of penalties. So we haven't had a lot of snap issues. We play good football. And like you said, when we have those good of players, if you play good football, you're going to score points. And that's the start of it, Missed alignments and missed assignments will get you beat before mismatches. And so the first part is getting lined up, getting the right play call, being communicated. We had one drive, we went 3 and out. We got to miscommunicate on the side. We threw the ball in the perimeter, we got hit in the teeth. Why? Because we got a missed signal. And so that's bad football. Eliminate bad football, and you got a chance.
It sounds like because you don't have some of those things, I don't want words in your mouth, but is this enjoyable? I mean, is this an enjoyable offense to know?
This is not enjoyable. I was a lot more fun as a receiver coach. I had a lot less on my plate. I think you don't enjoy it until the end of the year, and then you look back. And like I tell the guys, the tough thing about it is you can't carry over points. You can't carry over. You can't say, okay, you can't carry over 70 from one week and say we're going to carry it. You have to play well the next week. That's all that matters. And everybody tells you, all right, you had all those runs, you had all those touchdowns. No, after another day, I'll enjoy it tonight. But then after that, it ends up, here's the next game. And you have to not turn it over. You have to execute your offense, and you got to do the right things, because you can't take the average of what you have. You have to do it every week. So. And what's happened is we've done that. Our defense has created a bunch of turnovers, and it just kind of fed into that. So.